The Xbox 360, this is a console that I completely overlooked. Now, apart from the Gears of War trilogy, there's nothing else I really played on it, and I feel like that's no fair. So in this video, I'm going to show you why I'm starting to play the Xbox 360 in 2024, and why I think you should as well. Now, if by the time you get to the end of this video, if you like it, please think about liking, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff, and let's hack the fuck out of this Xbox 360. Now, I will throw a link down below for the guide that I used to hack this Xbox 360 Slim. But the first thing we're going to do here is make the NAND flasher, so this is going to be the Raspberry Pi Pico. Now for this, you need the Raspberry Pi Pico and you need 7 wires. And this is going to be the board that's going to solder directly to the Xbox 360 motherboard. Now, speaking of motherboards, there are a few different kind of variations in motherboards. There's the Jasper, which I think are the original Xbox 360s, then there's Falcons, and then there's the newer Trinity models, and then there's the Corona models. So the guide that I've included, that's going to have a tool that you can use to identify which motherboard you have. Now for me, myself, I had the Trinity motherboard, so this was fairly straightforward because luckily enough all the videos that I watched before doing this mod all had the same board as me, so it's all the same layout. So I would recommend checking out what version you've got before you kick anything off. So for this, I use these male-female jumper cables. I basically cut them in half because I'm going to use the connections on either end to attach and detach the NAND flash as I go, because I didn't want to keep it inside the board permanently. I would like to try and use it maybe again in the future. So once that's done, kind of just check your solder points, make sure everything's, you know, connected properly, and then you should be good to go. Now, onto the second bit of prep before we open up this Xbox. This is the RGH3 install wires. Now basically there's 4 points on the motherboard that need to be attached by 2 wires. And again, I'll include all this later on, but you can find it on the guide. This is different, again, dependent on which motherboard you have. For me, it's the Trinity, so I had to place a resistor in between 2 wires to kind of go between 2 other points. So once that's done, we'll get this thing open. And now, to be honest, I'm not going to bore you with the opening because frankly I found it boring. It took ages, and I'm pretty sure I fucked up as well. So there are loads of guides online to see to show you properly how to take this apart. But the big thing that I will stress is this X clamp. Now this was a major source headaches for me. I got this pry tool that was meant to be the easiest way to remove it. Spoiler, it did not, so I basically googled the easy way to remove an X clamp off an Xbox 360, and the guy that I found said use a screwdriver. So I wish I'd done this at the beginning because it would have saved me a whole pile of headache, but I'll get to that later, believe me. So finally, now that's done, we can take off the X clamp and remove the heatsink for the CPU. Now it is a bit dusty, so I'm going to clean this up, and I do need to remove the thermal paste from the CPU as well as the cooler. I did start off with the best intentions to kind of be professional and use a toothbrush and IPA, but my patience level withered very quickly, and I just resorted to dipping a bit of kitchen paper and IPA and scrubbing it. So this is the RGH3 mod now. So these are the points here. Again, you can refer to the guide for your specific model. What I will stress though is this point here. So this is, again, I don't know if this is specific to the Trinity, but for this point I had to actually remove some of the mask over one of the points so I could solder the wire. So as you can see, the resistor is very, very close to this point, so I would just say take your time, use a very fine tip scalpel or blade or whatever you have, and just take your time. Look, there's that toothbrush, I'm so fancy. Oh, and that's my microscope as well. I got a microscope, and I'm like a professional like repair person now, so I'm well happy. So again, I'm just kind of using a bit of flux here, tinning the point, just trying to get a good surface to attach the wire to, so the wires are all pre-tinned, and luckily I managed to get it attached well. And now this is the second point that I'm attaching the wire to. Again, these are kind of just older solder blobs, so I'm just kind of topping them up with kind of some fresh solder so the wire can stick. Again, now this is the second wire. The first point, again applying some new solder so I can attach my wire easily. Look at that lovely tinning. And then this is the other point of the second wire. Now this bit was small enough as well, and this bit's actually underneath the X clamp, so I was hoping I didn't have to remove it at first, but then when I saw where this was, I realised I had to. So now the wires are done, I'm going to kind of just tape them down to make sure they didn't get snagged on anything later down the line, and then we will hopefully be good to go to get the Pico flasher soldered onto the board. Now for some reason there was a point on the board here that took me forever to get a point soldered to, and it just, oh, it was a pain in the arse, but eventually I got there. And then it got to the point where I was feeling confident, I thought everything was fine, and I started putting it back together to test it. And I'm going to take you back now to the X clamp removal tool, because that did not go as planned. Basically with this tool I managed to cut a few traces on the board. Yep, that's right, I cut a few traces on the board. Then I got a second Xbox, and then this happened. So I tore this Xbox down, reflowed all the points, and then this happened. I managed to get it all working, thank the Lord, because I was convinced that this mod was absolutely cursed for me because it seemed to be going from bad to worse. So now that's working, I'm going to get the storage ready, so I'm going to get the SD card ready and the new hard drive that's going in it. For this I'm using just a recovered 500 gig hard drive, and I found this slim shell on Amazon for like a tenner, I think it was, so that's what I'm going to be using just now. And again, it's just kind of basic formatting stuff before we use this, putting into the Xbox format and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, I didn't record any of this because, like I said, I was convinced this mod was cursed, so I was cursing myself for basically sticking at it and didn't bother recording anything because I'm a fucking genius. But anyway, I've got the Xbox board sorted, it's up and running, and I've got the storage ready, so now it's time to hack the fuck out of this thing. So I've managed to get everything up and running now, and Aurora installed, which is the custom dashboard for the Xbox 360, and I'm going to throw all the links down below for this install because, like I said, I didn't record any of it because I was in a pissy mood and I was like, fuck this, and I just wanted to get it working. And as you can see now, it is working. The average game size for Xbox 360 games is like 7 gig. So just now I've got just over 30 with the plan, the idea, shall we say, to add a shit ton more. And as you can see, running Gears of War here, it's running natively. Like, there's no buffering, there's no skipping, there's no issues, there's no rendering issues, anything like that. So I am happy with it. Like, I think it's kind of, it looks a bit janky. I think that's because of the software I was using to maybe capture gameplay. It was definitely running a lot smoother on the actual screen itself. But I will say, I am absolutely fucking delighted that this is up and running. And another reason why I like hacking my consoles like this is because I get to play games that I would otherwise not be able to. This one being Splatterhouse. I have been looking for a copy of this game for years, and anytime I've came across one it's like 50 quid plus, which, fuck that, like I'm not spending 50 quid on a fucking Xbox 360 game specifically anyway. But again, just getting to play all these games that I would never get to play in the first place. And I'm getting the vibe that Xbox 360 is going to maybe start picking up a wee bit in price with them closing the store and everything like that, so, you know, watch this space for prices. So I would highly recommend maybe hacking, modifying your Xbox in one way or another, because I think you're going to need to if you want to play some of the games coming up. Finally, the last Call of Duty game that I played was Modern Warfare 4. What was that? Modern Warfare 4 on the Xbox 360. This is the last one I played and enjoyed. I played fucking Warzone, but that's alright. But this is the last kind of campaign-driven Call of Duty game that I played, and oh my fucking god, man, this took me back. Like when I first got the Xbox 360, I got one of the original ones, the older white ones, and I think I got this game, and I think it was Eternal Sonata, and I think the Simpsons game. So basically when I play this, I was playing the Simpsons with the kids the other day as well, and it's, oh my god, it's such a frustrating game at the best of times, but it was good fun to play with the kids. Excuse me. But I would highly recommend, if you're wanting to get into Xbox, this is probably the better way to go just now. I think prices are going to start going up, and I think maybe consoles are going to start getting harder to get again. Maybe prices for consoles are going to start going up. But that's just me, guys. I'm going to stop fucking rambling because I could literally sit here all day and ramble. I am looking forward to getting stuck into some Xbox 360 games, and I would love it if you could tell me some that I should check out down below. There are a few RPGs that I want to check out, as well as some of the shooters and slashers and stuff like that, but if there's any you can recommend, please let me know down below. But everybody, thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it, and please think about liking, subscribing, commenting, all that good stuff. And if there's anything you want to see me hack the fuck out in the future, please let me know. Until next time, my name's Graham, and I'll see you later.